If you're in need of some self-care, you're in the right place today. Welcome back to your mat for this all levels morning flow with a focus on wringing out the kinks of the spine. So we'll start lying on our backs. Go ahead and have soles of feet to the earth and TP the knees together. So you might have your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And you might like to bring your hands onto your lower belly. Let's just take a few moments to bring ourselves into the present moment. If you're comfortable closing the eyes, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, keep the gaze steady and soft. Take an inhale through your nose. Feel the belly rise and fill up. And then just let it naturally fall upon your exhalation. And if you want to, you could exhale out through the mouth. Repeat that at least 2 to 3 more times, just being with the filling up sensation of the belly and the falling of the belly. And then you're going to go ahead and bring the arms out like a big cactus plant or stop signs, palms facing up, and just have the elbows as high as they feel comfortable with regards to your shoulders and your neck. Keep the feet quite wide, so mine are roughly as wide as my yoga mat, and then I'm just going to let the knees drop down to one side without bringing the feet closer together. And you might notice that your knees will touch the ground. You might notice that both or one knee is hovering quite high off the earth. We're not forcing the body, we're just allowing for room. And then drawing the knees back through center and changing it to the second side. Letting the knees just tumble to where they pause, not forcing, not using a hand to push down, not using any muscle engagement. And then bring those knees again back through to center. Let's align the feet a little more to hip width. We're setting up for bridge here. Bring the arms beside the body, palms face down. You're reaching your fingers towards your heels, but you're not necessarily touching or holding on to those ankles. Make sure the knees are stacked roughly on top of those heels. And then spread your weight across all 4 corners of your feet. Spread out the toes, grip the earth lightly with toes. And I'm going to start by just trying to draw the shoulder blades a little closer together. So I create this nice supportive shelf of support through shoulders. And then start to tilt the pelvis as though you're bringing pubic bone towards the navel and continue that gentle roll upwards. You might just pause it halfway, or you might keep pressing down with the palms and lifting those hips. And then you'll roll back down in reverse. So moving with the rhythm of your breath. At the bottom, I'm going to just inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm going to lift. And then I'm choosing to inhale at the top. You might do this double speed, but it's good to do things steady. Exhaling, lowering down. So again, I'll choose to take that pause. I might even over tilt the pelvis if that feels okay. And then exhale, rolling back up. Pausing at the top for the inhale, and then rolling our way back down for the exhale. You might like to join me in one more round. Perhaps you've paused somewhere halfway or lifted for an extra breath. And come and meet me, lowering those hips back down and taking a gentle hug of the knees. I'm not over squeezing, I'm just gathering those knees. And now enjoying a little bit of a rock or roll of those hips from side to side, feeling a little sense of massage as we connect back body and those hips with the earth. Noticing if there's any sweet spots or sticky spots, hot spots. So you could choose to rock and roll up and down your mat, or you might just want to roll to one side. We're going to come onto all fours, bringing the feet behind us, the hands out in front of us. And I'm going to take a child's pose with the toes tucked and a little sort of toe squat there. So reaching the hands forwards as my belly drops down towards the thighs. And just notice whether you're experiencing any pinching in the shoulders perhaps. You might need to widen the elbows. You might bring hands closer together. I'm actually choosing to be a little active. I'm enjoying this sensation. I'm choosing to press lightly down through my hands today. Don't worry if those hips are hovering high up above the heels. Just go to a place where the hips drop to without pushing and shoving too hard to get there. Don't worry if the thighs are together or they're wider. You might even enjoy the knees being wider so that the belly can expand between the thighs. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Exploring sensations in your own neck, your shoulders, your hips, your toes. Maybe sending a message of self-care to pull back a little bit in little tight spots. Or sending a deeper exhalation of softening energy to those hot spots. And then coming back onto all fours, so into your tabletop, untucking the toes. Take some cat-cows in your own time. I'll start off with regular cat to cow, and then after a couple of rounds I might enjoy ad-libbing a little bit and changing that sensation, not necessarily making the movement symmetrical. I might enjoy a bit of a tail wag, looking over one shoulder. Perhaps you'll do rotations of the pelvis, or you'll be concentrating on doing barrel rolls of the rib cage. Just exploring movement and breath in your own body for a couple more rounds of breath. And then come and meet in downward facing dog. I'm going to choose to walk quite far back on my mat because we'll sort of end up going a little further forwards. I know that I might need a little extra space with my sofa that's next to me as well. So just exploring that first downward facing dog. Encouraging a little bit of a sway of the hips or a pedal of those heels. And then finding stillness for an exhalation. Lift your right leg upwards. Inhale. Kick the heel to the buttock. Open up that right hip. Knee lifts high. And then you're going to direct the knee just in front of your right wrist. So come forwards and place right knee in front of the right wrist. And then you might need to push your left toes a little further back on your mat. And we're into a bit of an active pigeon. I'm going to choose to come up onto fingertips, and I'm being really strong through that left leg. So I'm squeezing through the thigh muscles, a little light squeeze and activation of glutes, hamstrings to keep the left knee hovering here. Creating a little bit of a heart opener, a cobra shape or a sphinx shape through heart space. If you wanted to, you could have had blocks under the hands, but it isn't about being super high and extended through the heart, but just feeling a sense of opening through the collarbones here. One more breath. And then walk the hands forwards and bring your hips or your right hip to stack on top of your right knee and hover the left heel. So left foot's off the ground. I'm now trying to find a wonderful neutral line from the crown of my head through my spine, through the hips and towards that left heel. So I try to avoid lifting or dipping through the left hip. I'm seeing if I can have both those hip bones parallel facing towards the earth. I'm choosing to flex the left foot feels a little stronger, but if you wanted to, you could always point through the toes if that feels a little more dynamic and stronger for you. If you're feeling like you're stable, perhaps you could explore with a little more balance, reaching your right hand forwards. I've chosen to turn the right thumb up, little finger down, and we're still just looking straight down, so we're not creating a heart opener here. Seeing if we can just hold through this space of strength and inner core stability. Feeling into leg muscles having to work to hold us here, core muscles. You might have already brought a hand or foot to the earth. If not, see if you can stay for 2 more breaths. You've got this. Last breath. And then bring both hands back to the earth and see if you can tap your left toes off towards the right side. So it's come way off my mat, and I'm going to walk my hands the same direction towards the right side, getting a little side extension and compression into the side waist. If you're comfortable looking back, look towards the left toes behind you. I'm trying not to be relaxed through the back leg. I'm seeing if I can still be active and strong, lifting the knee off the ground. 1 more breath. And then come back to center with your hands. Hover the back leg and swing it all the way off towards the left side. Taking what's referred to as a gate shape through the legs. I'm pushing down through the sole of the left foot and bringing the left toes to sort of turn inwards towards me instead of out and away. So seeing if you can make that adjustment. Maybe you can think about your right knee being roughly with the left heel or inner arch alignment of that left heel. We're going to take a twist if you're up for it. Let's start by just bringing down onto the forearms and seeing how that feels. That could be enough. Otherwise, I'm going to go for bringing my left arm underneath the right. It may be possible to let your head soften down towards the earth. So I've just brought the left side of my face towards the earth. You might have brought a pillow underneath your face there if you need a little extra cushioning. 2 more breaths on this side. We will twist the other direction as well. Don't worry if your left shoulder isn't touching the ground. Maybe you're still on the forearms. I'm going to come back through center and change the twist to the other side. You might notice that you have a little more space to drop the right shoulder to the earth. I like to prop myself with the left hand sort of in front of my face and lightly press down there. And then we'll come back to center. And we're going to step back to downward facing dog. So tuck the right toes, lift the knee and step back. And I'm going to walk my way back towards the end of the mat and give that a little pedal out. If you feel like you need a child's pose, you could do that for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, coming back to meet in downward facing dog. This time it'll be the left leg that rises. Kick the heel to the buttock, twist it open, direct the left knee up for a breath. And then swing left knee in front of left wrist into that active pigeon. So I've just pushed the right toes back on the mat and I'm trying to keep the back knee hovering. So a little bit of a heart opener here onto those fingertips. Opening through the collarbones. Can you be any stronger through the back leg, trying to hover the knee off the earth? And then we'll walk the hands forwards and bring your hips to land, left hip on top of left knee. When you feel ready, you'll hover the right foot off the ground. So just for now, we're seeing if we can find that lovely alignment before we get into a deeper balance here. So keep both hands grounded as you find That stability of the hips being equal, not stacked or dipped. You're directing both hip bones to the earth, crown of head straight forwards. A little drawing in of navel. And if you feel stable, extend the left arm. We're doing this slow and steady. Start to notice how different muscle groups have to switch on just to hold us here. Sometimes referred to as bird dog pose. Funnily enough, I have a bird dog right behind me, and she is truly magical at this kind of pose. Staying for one more breath. I'm going to bring the hand to the earth and then step right foot towards the left side, and then walk the hands also towards the left side, seeing if I can take a little side sway. So we're expanding through the right side of the ribs, we're compressing through the left. Maybe you'll look back towards the foot behind you, keeping the knee hovering off the earth if you can. And then we'll swing the leg to center and the hands to center. And then we want to swing the right leg out to the side. Giving myself a little more room. So right sole of foot to the earth if possible. You slightly turn those toes inwards into our gate pose, gate legs. And then maybe you'll just see if you can drop down to the forearms. And it could be that you'll be staying much more upright throughout. Perhaps you feel like you can get a twist in. I'm going to start with my right arm underneath the left. And I'm just propping however I can with the left hand. This can be pretty deep, so it may be that this one's not working for you and you'll go for the second side or hold that second side a little longer. You could always go there sooner. I no longer fear of things always having to be perfectly symmetrical in my yoga practice. Sometimes life is not symmetrical, and our yoga practice doesn't always need to be either. Just letting it unfold as it is today on our mats. I come back to center and then see if I can loop left arm underneath the right. This one tends to hold a lot more stable if you're able to bring that left shoulder towards the earth, that is. Just supporting yourself however you can with the right hand or however it feels best. Just a couple more breaths. And then back through to center. This time, bringing the knees back behind you. If you want to, you could toe squat and end your practice here in child's pose. Or you might like to end your practice into Savasana, laying on your back. Any shape of corpse pose that works for you. Take time here. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like TULA Being free and accessible to all.